We're now continuing with the next item on the political discussion that we've been having since this evening with Dr. Ajen Alemonia Tamunemi Ibieneye. I hope I didn't use Igbo to pronounce that Ijo name, Doc. Thanks for joining us.
No, it's always a pleasure.
All right.
Igbos, they are part of Nigerians and their citizens.
All right. I'm going to ask you a direct question, and that is the direct consequence of the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State.
Well, you can look at it from diverse views. One is the rate at which it will affect the economy in the state. The other, you'll see the negative impact it will have on the mental health of those that are concerned. To the economic aspect, if state of emergency is politically declared where you have war ongoing, you have situations where persons are being seized and they have no option but to declare such, where the people are being ambushed, readiness for attack. But in all of this, I don't think anybody who is doing business in the state hearing something like this will be comfortable. Some set of persons in businesses, and when they leave, before they come back, it would have created a lot of negative impact on the hearing of those concerned. So, to that extent, where you have the mental health being affected, people who that have loved ones in Rivers to want to find out their well-being. But as I speak to you, I'm speaking from Rivers State. Rivers State is not the light at which it is painted. The administrator, of course, he is doing his constitutional job. He is making a broadcast to Rivers people. One would say he has done well to have done that. But the facts tweaked back to the president of this country. We have situations where during the time of the former president, President Olusegun Obasanjo, if I'm not mistaken, where state of emergency was also declared. And it went up to the level of the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court was able to establish by their ruling that the Section 305 should not be applied to remove any elected governor. And I believe that the president should be fair enough upon who have taken and to protect lives and property and also the integrity of the Constitution. So we have looked at some certain things. To some minds, they also believe that the steps he has taken is to quickly stop unforeseen or oncoming crisis. So be that as it may, the indigenes and residents of Rivers State will be the people that suffer in all of these discussions.
Are you still there, Doc?
Yeah, I'm
right.
here.
Okay. Now, it has been established that, of course, the Rivers people will suffer firsthand before it gets to the rest of the nation. It's a known fact that Rivers State is oil-rich state. The proverbial goose that lays the golden egg. Now, with this institution of emergency rule in the state, I don't know what becomes of oil production in that state. I don't know what becomes of other activities when it comes to socioeconomic sector. What do you think? With hindsight on what has happened in the past during the declaration of state of emergencies, you rightly pointed out the ones that happened when Obasanjo was the president. I think twice in his administration, one in Ekiti, one in Plateau State.
Yes, I think that the Supreme Court, in as much as the House of Reps or the Senate did not start to view that, it's a law and should be obeyed. If elected the way the governor is elected, and if a governor must leave, he has to follow the process of impeachment. I think that is the situation. To the scenario of the oil-rich region and the normal economic situation of drilling and selling of products, I don't think anything has affected it in any way. The situations, is just when some certain things are happening, it's seen as something that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Now, discussions were there that pipelines and pipes were blown, and if you listen to what is happening on the news, you think that Rivers State is there. You think that military is everywhere, and it's a lie, blatant lie. So it is obvious that it is only politically orchestrated. For whatever reason, best known to who the actors are. I think that what parties should be of, it should be what should be of interest to parties is how the citizens, the indigents, and residents where they found them will be comfortable. How they can make this a conducive environment for these things to go on. Now, how can a business strive where there is a function of state of emergency?
Okay.
Look at the health situation of people. Some persons are even on from a moving vehicle or maybe a house. People collapse because of their heart situation. And when you create this kind of panic, when it is unnecessary, I think it is totally called for. He is seen as the father of the nation. And one thing I stand to always stand by is that the rule of law should be obeyed and must be obeyed. So if the Supreme Court has that such should not have happened, it should have happened. If the House of the biasness of everything is just too much. Look at the situation where you have the president having inaugurated an administrator before the House of Reps and the Senate, they are now to deliberate on it. It's unimaginable. And so sometimes they might say it's political, but everything is not politics. There are things that has to do with the well-being of the citizens. One is a kind of propaganda or the lies or the information that spreads around. If people have businesses or maybe want to invest in the states, when they hear that there is a state of emergency, who would want to invest? Nobody wants to do that, because at that point, your life safety is not guaranteed. And as the administrator, as he came in, he has not met the state to be in the person I think that is being humiliated and intimidated is the governor. But sometimes it is also baffling why things like this happen. I think the people still need to put themselves together, because what is even the only panic they have now is, could it be possible that the governor could suspend that is elected, just the way the president is elected, even when the Supreme Court has said that no one has a right to remove such person who is elected, an elected officer. So this to me is an impunity. And I think that as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, he should know that he's leading Nigerians and should be at the best state so that things are working at the respective states.
Now, Doc, given the current economic situation of the country, do you think the state of emergency rule in Rivers State will further contribute to further economic nosedive, extending to the entire nation from Rivers State?
It is not anticipated to be that. I think what is happening is mere a political achievement. The actors who have orchestrated it. Because if this is to 2027, how structure, how they want to take over the entire structure in the state and all of that, it has nothing to, it is only backlashing on the citizens or the indigenous or the who are really working to survive. Because now there were situations where job creation and all of those things are going on. Now that the administration is there, he would look at all of those things. And these things should move up to, before you see it will be the next governor, or maybe if the governor will be there, 2027, after 2027, they look at it. So you look at all of these things, economically, it is nosediving, not because production is affecting production and all of that. People definitely want to agitate. People want to complain. Of course, you cannot beat a child and expect that the child will not cry. So if out of all of this, I think that measures should be taken. Some things that people go to court trying to allege the position, but if the one that the Supreme Court has already established is not followed, what is the hope? What is the hope? Because you begin to see the judiciary as if it is on the hope of the common man.
All right, still speaking about the economy. You know, the global oil markets will not put into consideration internal political conflicts and squabbles, waiting for it to be resolved before everyone moves on. I mean, Ukraine, for instance, with the war with Russia, it's seriously affecting the oil market. And from this part, I mean, the whole world will just move on if we are not, you know, moving up. Don't you think?
Definitely. Time and tide waits for no one. And it is not because we are in a certain region or in a certain country for reverse will be the case. What is expected here? But then as much as this political, they made the whole situation look not interesting. If join politics or to engage themselves politically, the drive is to better the lots of the people. If now you're in office and it is now educating or maybe making sure that people don't have a sense of belonging, economically it will definitely affect persons who are in the competitive market that has their government strategies in place will definitely be doing better. The economy of those nations will always be doing better than that of Nigeria. The only thing that they tend to, it is also intentional, impoverish the people, make the people not to have the God to even speak out. Because when you're suffering, if you see the governor being tear gas, being poured water, if that is on the streets, do you see have hope? So these are the unfortunate situations. And it shouldn't be under any guise. It shouldn't be under any guise. So the president, in the best way he could, ensure that there is peace, because without peace, no nation cannot rest.
On the flip side, Doc, do
Yes.
you not think that the institution of emergency rule in River State will help curtail probable sabotage of oil infrastructure? We heard about the pipeline that was blown up just the night before the president pronounced the state of emergency. And what looks like threats coming from Ijaw Youth Council saying that nothing must happen to Sim Fubara. Apart from that, I read somewhere else that some group that are sentimental to Ijaw people, or even, Ijaw people basically, are agitating that even if Sim Fubara is removed, that someone from Ijaw extraction be his replacement. Now, we know the activities of the militants in the past. We're not so sure that they are arrested now. So don't you think that with the emergency rule, all of these things can be contained?
It cannot, that is not so, it is not something that will curtail it. It is something that in the first place, the Ijaw people are Slobbing people. The IYC group and all of that, do they have what it takes to fight the federal government? That's the question. Now, if in the time past, when they were militant and later became ex-militant, were the military not? They were still doing what they were doing. So what will be the difference now? So it shouldn't be drawn, situation shouldn't be drawn to those days, back to those days. No, because that will not help the country economically. I don't think that an hungry man is afraid of somebody putting on uniform or carrying a gun. Because it is often told that an hungry man is an angry man. So the situation, I think, is a political situation. It's a political situation, and a job persons, even if they say that if the same is job person should replace the person, it's only fair that such be done. But that is not the case here. The case here is that what as there were threats, people who threatened to blow pipeline. Are we saying that it is the governor that has blown the pipeline? So what is his offense? And what kind of when the Supreme Court has said that nobody should be able to, the president should, in fact the former president of Passenger was even backlash for trying to do that, even when the people were reinstated. So I still look forward to a situation because one, people say that the House of Reps and the Senate, they are rubber stamped. And they are playing out those stones. But I think that the president should, in-house, look at how to resolve these things and reinstate this for the better. But why would they want to do it?
Dr. Ibine, were you actually expecting the National Assembly to have a decent voice from that of the presidency? Were you expecting that they will not approve of the emergency rule?
I know that they will approve of it because the president has already inaugurated one. Before such would have been done, it would have been sent to the House. They would have deliberated on it and then come up with a resolution before he is taking that step. But he is taking the step and I don't expect them to go against him. Now, the other situation there is if the House of Reps themselves is there for the conduct of the nation, they would have stood by the laws of the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court has given a ruling, it will be binding, and there is no way all of them, or majority of them, or third of them would not have known that such judgment from the Supreme Court is there. The president is a human. At times he might make some mistakes, but there should be checks and balances. That's why they have the 3 tiers. There should be checks and balances. And if this is not being checked, where are we heading to? If as a result of this, because they believe that nobody will do anything, nothing will happen. But it's not, you can't say that, because sometimes when you act like that, you might be sitting on a time bomb, because you don't know. You since you play politics, people play politics every corner. Sometimes they have the international affiliations and all that, and some of these international countries who knows better than most of the Nigerians, and it's stinkily rich, would want to do anything to see that they take constant control of the economy of this nation. So I think the presidency should, of course, he knows. He would not say he doesn't know. He knows. I think it's to actually do.
Are you still there, Dr. Ibine?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Okay, go ahead. Now I can hear you.
Okay. So what I was saying is that the president, the House of Reps, before the president would have taken such decision of inaugurating one, they would have deliberated this issue at the House of Reps.
Okay, but what happened was that it sounded like a decree, right? Like what we had in the military days.
Yes, this is more like a military rule. And he's not a military man. He's a civilian. I voted for him to be in office. So I know I didn't vote for him as a military man. I voted for him as a civilian, as a Nigerian. So the House of Reps would have deliberated this issue. They would have come up with a resolution before he would have implemented it. Now that he has come out to do this, none of them will want to come against him or will want to speak against him. Look at how they concluded it, that it is through voice vote. Who spoke? Who didn't speak before it was accepted?
Yeah, really,
it's funny, but painful too. And I must state as well that it is good the governor has peaceful disposition, but he should know that the reason he was elected, even if the former governor will claim that it's the person, in fact, for him to say it's the person who
brought him to power,
made him the governor, he should be arrested, because that is not how elections are run. People vote. If you say you manipulated it, it's a testimony that should be used against you. Now, if the governor is in office, the governor should know that he's leading people. A lot of people are out of poverty. A lot of people are homeless, jobless here and there. They have him as hope. So he's able to protect their interest. If somebody that is here, he cannot even, God has given him everything it takes to protect the state and to move forward. Because Rivers people are behind him. But how would they be behind him? You see, with hunger, they will come and be fighting, or they will come with empty tummy and going to face a military administrator. No, things are not done that way. He should be able to, for him, he believes in peace. And I think that nature, or whatever it is, will be able to guide his path.
Dr. Ibine, you're speaking to us from Port Harcourt. How is Port Harcourt today with the nature of things?
There is nothing. Port Harcourt is very calm.
The people are moving about their businesses.
Businesses and everything is going on.
Okay.
There is nothing, and in fact, most persons even believe that explosion that was heard was orchestrated by opposition to the governor.
Okay.
Because the place is, there is no issue whatsoever. So, and then the only baffling thing is that what is happening to the governor, that's just what people, and a lot of people are abusing the governor, that he would have been able to protect his state. He would have been able to protect the people that voted him. It is allowing the president, because what the president is doing, he should be impeached. Because if you do things unconstitutional, things against the law that you're supposed to be protecting, you should be impeached. But who will impeach him? Is it the Senate? No. It is the people that will be able to say what to withdraw their votes. And if they continue like this and the people continue to put themselves together and it gets to that stage, we also get it.
All right, thank you very much for contributing on the program this evening. We appreciate you, Dr. Ibineye.
No problem. It's always a pleasure. We believe the best will always come to the states and the nation.
All right, moving on Signature Evening, we'll bring you the next on the schedule. Join us.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.